with Sunday's Super Bowl 59 rematch between the defending champs, the Eagles, taking on the Chiefs in Kansas City. Jalen Hurts in Philly. They've won 17 of their last 18. The Chiefs looking to avoid the first 0-2 start in Patrick Mahomes' career. For much more, let's bring in our senior NFL writer, that is Jeremy Fowler, and let's talk about Super Bowl 59, the rematch. And you have some news coming in about an injury. What can you tell us?
Yeah, Kevin, let's start with Dallas Goedert. Eagles tight end has been declared out with a knee issue. So their starting tight end, who had 7 catches last week in a passing game that didn't exactly get off the ground, that is a key loss. So expect the Eagles to run the ball a lot. They have Grant Calcaterra that can step in. He's the primary backup. Also watch for A.J. Brown, Kevin, just the 1 target last week. They're going to want to get him more involved, some quick slant routes, get him the ball early and often if they can. On the Chiefs side, Xavier Worthy, he has a slim chance, according to Andy Reid, of playing this week. So he's listed as doubtful, coming off that dislocated shoulder. But the good news was, out at practice back-to-back weeks in a limited capacity, seems to be trending upward for the next week or two. They're not going to put him on IR. So the Chiefs are just trying to get to the point where they can get Hollywood Brown, Rashee Rice, and Worthy on the same field at the same time. It's going to take a while, at least not this week. And you got James Cook, running back with the Bills, should be good to go. Had a hamstring issue earlier in the week. That was more a little bit of just tightness, is my understanding. So he has told reporters that he's playing, no doubt about it. The bigger issue for the Bills is defensive tackle Ed Oliver will be out for this game, which the Jets will be very happy about. But Cook will be available to run the ball. And then finally, 49ers situation. Brock Purdy declared out by head coach Kyle Shanahan with a toe and shoulder issue. The situation now is, when will he be back? Will it be week 3, week 4? Doesn't appear at this moment that they're going to put them on injured reserve. Mac Jones will step in. Fascinating, Kevin, because 4 years ago, the 49ers looked at taking Jones number 3 overall in that NFL draft. Now Jones gets to run Kyle Shanahan's offense for the very first time.
And by the way, they moved draft picks there with the Dolphins to select Trey Lance in that draft. And the Dolphins right now have a ton of question marks, trying to rebound after that week 1 loss, an embarrassing loss, 33-8 to the Colts. From what are you hearing, like, how bad is it in Miami right now?
Well, Kevin, it's never a great sign when players have to have a players-only meeting that they talked about this week in the locker room, but at least that can create a little bit of urgency. The Dolphins do firmly expect to play better. They felt like last week was just an avalanche of bad assignments, missed throws, missed routes, the whole 9. So they expect to tighten that up. Head coach Mike McDaniel's trying to make sure of it. But in the bigger picture, talking to people around the league, they see 2 core issues with what's going on in Miami. The roster, they don't consider it to be an elite roster. That's problematic. They've had a lot of key players leave, in part because the Dolphins were trying to probably clean up their locker room a little bit with some players that were bad fits, but they replaced them with more cost-effective options that aren't as good. Also, there are questions about who's the leader in that locker room, who are the core guys you can go to that step up in a leadership standpoint. You combine all that together, and it is an ugly start that the Dolphins are trying to recover from.
That offense was dreadful. Keep in mind, Tyreek Hill, 6 straight games without a catch of 30 yards or longer, the longest streak of his career. Jeremy, thank you so much.
The Packers are first and goal. Love takes, looks, throws slant right side. Touchdown, Romeo Doubs! It's been all Packers so far. At the end of 1 half, it is the Packers 14 and the Commanders 3.
It's all about getting stops and getting the ball back into the offense. You give us 20 points, we should be able to win that game.
Touchdown! And a Lambeau leap. 27-18. Final score.
Big NFC game last night. Commanders, they looked outstanding getting that win over the Commanders. Came at a cost for both teams. Green Bay receiver Jayden Reed broke his collarbone, will miss considerable time. And Adam Schefter reporting that Washington running back Austin Eckler likely tore his Achilles tendon. That's not good. And the odds makers, they like the Packers so far this season. Not only are they the current favorite to win their division, the NFC North, but they are tied for the best odds to win the NFC and have the second best odds to win the Super Bowl, something they haven't done since 2010. NFL analyst Mina Kimes joining us now with much more. Mina, what was your biggest takeaway from last night?
Just how dominant and complete the Packers defense looked. The offense I thought was excellent too, and Matt LaFleur has a history of calling great games against Dan Quinn defenses. But this Packers unit, all 3 levels I thought played so dang well. You really see the force multiplier effect that Micah Parsons has on the rest of the pass rush. Players like Devontae Wyatt, Rashawn Gary stepping up because they get one-on-ones. But on the back end, I think it was the play of these Packers corners that surprised me the most. Keyshawn Nixon, with all of those pass breakups, it's almost like the confidence they've gotten from Micah in this pass rush is leaking into the rest of the unit. So well coached by Jeff Hafley, so many tricky coverage rotations and different types of pressures. They are truly a force to be reckoned with, not only in their own division, but the entire NFL.
Now they get a mini bye before week 3 when they face the Browns on the road. The team that the Packers opened up the season with a victory that was against the Lions. And the Lions looked really lost in the opener, missing their OC, Ben Johnson, missing their DC and Aaron Glenn. What do you need to see from this offense this weekend?
Well, I think it's helpful now to have seen the Packers defense against another playoff team to put that week 1 performance in perspective a little bit. This is the great part about the early part of the season, or the confusing part. But you still want to see them run the ball better, irrespective of how good the Green Bay is on the ground. The Lions' rushing attack week 1 averaged less than 1.5 yards before contact per carry. That would have been their worst performance last year by a large margin. They're just not getting the same push that they did last season. The interior of the offensive line is different. I think that's responsible for some of it. But you wanted some creativity in that ground game to try to unlock Jahmyr Gibbs. And through that unlocking and the run game being better, getting you into third and manageable so that the passing game isn't under so much pressure.
Detroit is a 6.5-point favorite at the moment against Ben Johnson and the Bears. Mina Kimes coming back to set the table for the rest of the week. Ladd McConkey and the Chargers, they finish up week 2, the slate against the Raiders. Second half of our Monday Night Football doubleheader on ESPN. Both teams 1-0 with head coaches having a history that dates back to their college coaching days. Pete Carroll was asked about his fondest memory about facing Jim Harbaugh earlier this week. Listen to this.
I remember Jim, no, I don't. I have no fond memories. I'm not going to go there. They're good. There's great games. They've been great games, that's all.
Learned a lot from him just watching him, but he's always been on the other side. When I was a player, he was a defensive coordinator, head coach somewhere, and then when I was coaching, we were trying to gouge each other's eyes out, you know? I mean, it's like in the competitive spirit of that. But, yeah, it's competition at the highest level. I mean, that's what he's all about.
They were respectful. I would think they'd be great teammates, but they're adversaries. Chargers star wide receiver Ladd McConkey joining us now on SportsCenter. You got a taste of the rivalry with the Raiders last season with a pair of wins. Now you add Pete Carroll to the mix with his history with Jim Harbaugh at USC and Stanford. How would you describe the intensity of Chargers-Raiders, Ladd?
Man, I've got to experience it for 1 year, and